Um, two geese walk into the haunted mansion. One turns to the other and says, "This is so scary, I'm getting people bumps." It's better than a lot of puns that, Slappy was spouting
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Yep. We just got back from Goosebumps.
I thought it was decent. Like, not something
too.
I would...
I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Yeah.
My main problems with it was the beginning, and I didn't like the ending so much. We'll get into that later,
the
why I didn't like the ending. I thought not the actual ending itself, but just like there's something in the ending that bugs me that I'll get to later.
It's probably the same that bugs me.
But also another thing that bugged me too is some of the music. Like, Danny Elfman's a good score guy, but it's just that there's a lot of scenes at the beginning of the movie where they're kind of sitting, they're sitting on the Ferris wheel. And it's like playing music. I'm like, there doesn't need to be music here.
Yeah.
Even same thing when they're just talking to each other at the beginning. It's like, why is there music? And it's really, because it's really bad. Because there's what can you do to people just like standing around talking? It's just because it feels awkward. Like the director's like, music, and the conductor's like, okay, guys, make some music.
And the very beginning, when they're just moving in, that was probably the most overdramatic music to the opening of a movie since the remake of Fright Night.
It wasn't as bad as actually I kind of liked. I actually kind of liked the opening music in Fright Night actually. And this it was a little it wasn't too great. In this it wasn't, but I actually liked the opening music in Fright Night. I thought it worked because they stopped because they used it to a more appropriate level in that movie than in this. Like, because I recently saw John Carpenter's Christine, and he's a director who really knows how to use his score. Like, he'll only use the score when it's really needed, like when they're being chased by the car or whatever. Like, the director in this I don't think he really knew what to do with it. He just kind of put the score wherever he felt like, and I mean, it wasn't as bad as like a perfect guy, which had like they used the same track over and over. It was like this really sappy, really like bad track. It wasn't bad as that. Like, thank God you guys didn't see that, because that music would have made you go, oh. And then like I said, like I told you when I saw the movie, and there's a part when they go to a club and they play rap music. You're like, thank God for the rap music. Any music different is better.
So, you guys have read the Goosebumps?
I've only read
actually.
about two, maybe?
Yeah, I have like
two of them.
I used to have I don't know where they are right now, but I remember when I used to live in Linwood, I used to have one of my shelves, or not in Linwood, Bellevue.
Maybe.
I had a shelf filled with just like a bunch of Goosebumps stuff. But yeah, I've read a lot. I used to read a lot of their books when I was a kid, especially because they were short and small, and I wasn't really getting. I was a kid and I wasn't really getting into chapter books as much, so I kind of like the Goosebumps books because they're kind of small and short, and they were nice. I mean, not all the books were great. There's some books I didn't like so much, but most of them I really liked. Like, I connected. I was like, oh, this is kind of creepy. I connected with.
Does the movie actually tell the fact on why R.L. Stine wrote them? Did he really write them just to be therapeutic to himself?
Probably when he was younger, like when he probably just sort of did that. But then he's like, maybe some of those books were based on people he knew that he wanted to get, because a lot of his books did have a lot of beating up bullies with come up, but some of them weren't I remember one of the books I read where one of the mean bully kid never got her comeuppance, or he or she or whatever. Like I can't remember what the book was called. I think it was I forgot but he's had a couple books where the bully never really got his comeuppance or something like that, but. Also, some of his books weren't even that scary. Like the one about the kid who could fly, that wasn't that scary at all. That was a good book, though. It just wasn't scary. So
it's kind of.
Neither was this movie, though. Was it mainly because it's just for child fun?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I agree too. Yeah, I don't really find much in this movie other than child
First of all,
fun,
I can only remember reading two of them, and one was the Werewolf of Fever Swamp, and Night of the Living Dummy 2.
I remember reading a book. I remember, like I said, I probably read more than you did. So
probably.
I remember a bit more, but I still don't remember all of them. Like, I have a bunch, and I'll remember bits and pieces, but I won't remember. And I remember some of them. I'll remember I really liked. Like, I remember I never really read the first Goosebumps book, the one about the haunted mansion. I never really read it, but then eventually one day I was like, oh, I might read it. And I was like, wow, this is actually really good. It's probably one of the best ones.
Like, I've never found Slappy scary. Like, Never.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I still like Slappy though. I just never really found him
But-
scary.
I felt he was actually utilized really well as like the main villain.
Yeah. I'm glad he
In
wasn't
this-
just like sort of there. And he's voiced by Jack Black too. Jack Black
Yeah.
voiced him and the Invisible Boy as well.
Which kind of makes
Which
sense.
with the twist at the very end though with the Invisible Boy makes no sense though.
Oh.
Well, because
I
he probably
just-
forgot about the Invisible Boy. That's probably what happened.
No,
Well,
he said all the monsters.
all the monsters, and that includes the girl who, by the way, we find out that she's.
That is
Well, because he wrote,
I
because
thought
he
that
was
was a
writing
good
the story,
twist,
he was
though.
writing he was writing the characters too, and she's a character in the book. That's what
yeah,
happened.
that would include the Invisible Boy.
Yeah.
Well,
so
he probably, like I said, he probably forgot about the Invisible Boy because they only really had a problem with him.
sequel
once.
bag.
Maybe. It might have just been a
well,
joke.
they didn't encounter. I think there were a lot of other things in there that they didn't encounter.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Well, there was a couple, like, you could have, like, in the backgrounds, like, hey, like, oh, hey, there's, from
Like
the guy
quick
from the book.
cameos.
Yeah.
Oh dear Lord!
And also
it's destroying
how-
all monsters all over.
And also,
again.
how do the zombies come out of the ground when
They're
they go
ghouls.
through the?
They are ghouls.
They're
Okay,
ghouls.
ghouls. Yeah.
There is a
How do they
difference.
come out of the ground when they go through the cemetery? When Slappy releases them from the book, did they just all fly into the ground like that?
I was
that
hoping.
how-
I was kind of hoping for
Did
a
he
better
bring out an
explanation.
entire cemetery?
Stuff, I guess there's stuff you can't really question. I guess you have to kind of.
Alright,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
Maybe they were already in the ground. I don't know.
Like the explanation for how the books actually work. Like he just came up with them and they became real. That's kind of. Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Well, they kind of explained it. It was
Kind of,
weird.
but
Well,
first
then
of all,
again-
this brings up a really good question.
then again, you got to remember.
How did he get these published?
Well, then again, you got to remember these are kids' books, and those are
Yeah.
his. What is it? Not his official work. Those are just the manuscripts. They weren't his actual like official work. He probably used something else to actually write those books. He probably didn't use like his actual magic typewriter thing. They never.
Okay,
but then again, you
okay.
got to remember this is a
Yeah.
kids' film, and there's a lot
Yeah.
of you can't really question everything because it's just supposed to be fun, and it's not really you're not really supposed to question everything that happens, especially like. Yeah, just there's a lot of stuff that you
Yeah.
probably better not to ask or just.
First of all, one of the best shots in this movie is when they're in the funhouse and he looks and half of his face is Slappy and half
Yeah.
of it is Stein. That was really good, and how they got the Slappy to mimic like that. I thought that was a really good shot.
Although a lot of the effects looked really cartoony, which I
Yeah.
think maybe they were supposed to be.
Kind of, but I thought the gnomes were good.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
And Slappy
They
actually
were
used some real puppeteer work, though they did use some CG here and there, but for the most part, it actually was a real puppet. I mean,
Yeah,
the credits said puppeteers.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
time I think of Slappy, I think of like he makes his usual threat, and I go, oh really? Into the wood chipper you go.
Then again, you can't really kill them or something like that. They
Yeah.
just resemble.
And also, the film looks like it was in high definition. Did anyone notice that?
A little.
Yeah. yeah,
most
so-
of these are now.
Yeah. But like I remember reading the book and going like, nobody try. I just remember nobody actually trying to destroy Slappy in the books themselves.
Because I think they had to find another way to do it. Because there's a bunch. Because I remember reading all his books. Because there was a bunch
Again,
more.
it's been years.
Besides just like 1 and 2, there was a 3, there was a 4, there was a Bride of Slappy. Bride of.
Yeah, but they just try to get rid of him, like toss him like down a storm drain or a sewer. I don't know. He crawls back. Of course he's gonna crawl back. He's still got all 4 limbs. But like how they actually had to get them into the book. I like that. Like they couldn't just destroy them.
Yeah, speaking of Goosebumps, one of Hayden Christensen's first roles, Anakin Skywalker, was in a Slappy Goosebumps short from the TV show. I saw because I recently watched a review by a guy on Channel Awesome, Mike J, who does Shameful Sequels. He reviewed Goosebumps and he showed Hayden Christensen was in it. There's a really bad CG scene where he's supposed to be like a living doll. He turns his head around. It was really bad. But I thought that was kind of interesting.
So I went into this movie expecting it to be terrible. From the trailers, it looked like it would be on par with a Nickelodeon movie with really lame humor and cheesy effects.
I don't know, Rango was pretty good. That's a Nickelodeon movie.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, Rango was.
That was wasn't that Paramount?
No, it was Paramount, but it was also a Nickelodeon movie too. Paramount owns Nickelodeon, by the way.
Yeah, so yeah, I was expecting this to be really terrible, and it didn't help either that it's from the guy who directed Gulliver's Travels.
I have to mention that I think
that's probably like one of the worst Jack Black films too.
Yeah, but I think Jack Black really came back from that film with this one.
Yeah, I honestly think I only enjoy Jack Black when he's in hammed up performances. I mean, with this and even Neverending Story 3. Yeah, so.
But he can actually do pretty good like he was really good in Bernie, which you guys hadn't. But that,
I want to see Bernie. Yeah.
But
I've never seen Bernie.
He was really good in that. But yeah, he can't. So he can't even give like. Though he hasn't been giving good serious performances. But Bernie was probably really good.
Yeah, with the exception of Champ.
That kid was pretty irritating.
He's the only other dude he's the only other guy in this movie I recognize.
Yeah,
besides Jack Black.
It took me a while to recognize him, but then I realized, it's one of the kids from Super 8. He just got a haircut.
Yeah. Also, what is it? The main kid. He was in
Alexander in the Terrible.
No, not just that too. He's in a bunch of other stuff too. Yeah. I never saw Alexander, but I've seen a bunch of other stuff he's been in. Mostly TV work.
He kind of looks like he could be related to Reese Wakefield, who plays the polite leader in The Purge.
Wait, I forgot another problem I had. I did not like, Champ. There's that scene where he saves that girl and he got to kiss her.
No,
like, come on. There's no way she would kiss him. Just hug him.
Okay.
I understand.
You could save someone from a werewolf.
Also, because I've seen that story before with the whole boyfriend. He's right there, and he's like, "Oh, we're leaving. Like, we're through." And then,
First of all,
he saves her. It's like,
First of all,
and this is the second week.
Why doesn't she run too? Seriously.
Yeah.
Look at she was also in Paper Towns, and she had a similar thing with this one guy who really liked her, and then they didn't kiss or end up. They just went to the prom together, but it wasn't like they kissed or anything. They kind of just went as friends for the most part.
This is the second week in a row where an actor from Paper Towns gets a really minuscule role.
Yeah.
Like, what's that guy's name? He was from Fright Night.
Actually, probably the intern Nat Wolff was in there for like a second.
Yeah. He was in like the guy in Fright Night.
So maybe third week.
No.
Okay, well I didn't see the intern.
Yeah, because Nat Wolff was just like he's like there for a second. And he went. He was gone.
What's that guy's name? Like, I'm kind of really tired. Champ's character sort of.
Yeah,
character.
I know.
I'm really tired of that.
Yeah.
Nerdy. I mean, I didn't as long as I didn't like him, but it just if they cut out that last scene where he got to kiss that girl, it's like no, because I understand she saved him from a werewolf, but like she'd most likely just give him a hug and go bye, or I wouldn't think she would actually kiss him. I thought that was just kind of goofy, like oh we're funny.
Yeah.
But let's get since I don't know how much time we have left on our camera, because this camera's only like 30 seconds long. Just final thoughts.
Well, the ending.
Oh yeah.
The
ending.
ending.
So basically, here's a spoiler for, anyways. But
you know what? Just do the.
But
just do it.
the girl, the main, what's her name?
Hannah.
The main guy's girl. She turns out she's a character from his books. She's not really his daughter, like R.L. Stein. She's supposed to be R.L. Stein's daughter, but really she's a character.
Think about it.
But the thing that's really bad is there's a whole part where, like, I also didn't like the whole thing that she needed to be his love interest. Like that whole love interest thing is cliche. You shouldn't have done that. They should have just been friends. Like the whole, especially because I didn't buy their relationship in the first place. I never really bought it. It never really, like, because they've only known each other for so long, so I just didn't really buy it that much. Also, I guess maybe the actors didn't have so much chemistry either, but supposedly at the end there's a part where she also has to get taken inside the book because she was also written inside the book as well. And then at the end they do a lame cop out where she comes back.
Yeah.
It's just one of those lame like this movie, like that's my biggest problem with this movie is it's cliched. It has so much cliched stuff that you're just like, don't go there. Oh, you went there. Why'd you do that?
I can handle some cliches, but that cop out at that last minute, because the whole film was about letting go, and you know what? They just bring her back.
That
like, why?
I mean, I don't mind little cliches, but this movie had a lot of big cliches that bug me.
Oh.
A lot of them, and it just that really like I was like thinking about this movie because it is really fun. Like I really enjoy a lot of stuff in this film.
Definitely.
Like I was really like because of all the stuff I enjoy, I wanted to give it a higher rating, but I'm not gonna say my rating yet, but I'm probably gonna end up giving it a lot lower than I thought because because the cliches in this movie are just
like Jack
really
Black is both R.L. Stein and Slappy. That's good.
Yeah, that works.
That's really good.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Why? It's like, it's okay. You know what? Okay, kid. It's okay to let go. Oh no, wait, she's over there. Let's forget the whole thing.
Also, I didn't understand the whole Slappy disappearing from flights or something like that. I don't think that was in the books either.
An upside to the ending, it did have a pretty funny cameo from the real R.L. Stein.
That was true.
Great. That was great.
Like how he called him Mr. Black.
Yeah, maybe Mr. Stein, Mr. Black. Yeah. Though I don't. He doesn't really like. Jack Black supposedly he worked with R.L. Stein to try to capture his role, but I still don't really think he acted like R.L. Stein. Like Bernie, you can kind of feel he is like the real guy, sort of, even though he kind of doesn't look like him, but you can still kind of feel it. This I don't really feel. I mean, I like Jack Black in this. I never really bought him as R.L. Stein, I guess. But still, I still liked him anyways. He was probably one of the best things about this film. Yeah. And I didn't mind the main kids. I didn't mind the actors. The actors were fine.
Like the two main lead.
Yeah. Except for Champ. Champ was annoying.
Oh,
he never got better. He was always annoying and
definitely.
Or the kid's mom. Well, not that she was so bad. It was just how it was just that one particular part where Zach thinks that Hannah's being abused, and he comes running over to his mom. He's like, Hannah's in trouble, and she's like, ooh, who's Hannah? I'm sorry, your son. He's obviously scared. So why would you react that way? The correct delivery would be, what? Who's Hannah?
Yeah, like also another thing that bugged me too was that cop thing. The cop who did not. She was this new cop because there's only two cops for some reason.
Yeah.
And one of the cops was like in training.
And they are
like
incompetent.
and she, especially her, she's just completely did she not learn anything? And like she probably has to train and practice. You don't just become a cop. Like what was just like I want to be a cop. Okay, come on in.
Later in the movie when Champ is like, I think we should call the police, and he's like, have you seen the police in this town?
Okay, that was funny.
Okay, so you're acknowledging that they're incompetent, but
you have to admit that was funny.
But still, it's like, who would want to live in it? Like, I'd move the heck out of that town, like a minute. Like, the police here kind of suck. I kind of want to move.
Yeah.
I don't think the guys from Straight Outta Compton would have minded living in that town.
Yeah, the cop's stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's do
this.
Right.
You want to be first?
Yeah. I guess this was a mildly pleasant experience.
It's
once.
Enjoyable.
Yeah, kind of, but
some parts.
Yeah, but I don't think there's really enough for it to rise above maybe a C+.
B minus C+. I enjoyed it. I actually sat there I can name the parts where was really painful to watch, but they're few and far between. The auditorium scene, whereas that whole scene is just painful. Where all the kids are that assembly, first. Yeah.
The mother mentions twerking. I'm like, what
kind
of mom is she? What kind of no principals nobody's no parent. I don't understand parents there's parents who can be out of touch, but they never do that.
She did admit that she didn't know what twerking was.
There are a few painful scenes, but for the most part, I was really drawn in. I liked watching this film, so I'm gonna give this a B minus.
Yeah.
But the
I was really close to I was thinking about giving this thing a B minus, but then I really thought about it, and I just those cliches. This movie is just like especially they're really like
And the
bad
cop-out.
because they're just cop outs. It's like this movie. It's funny and it's fun and stuff, but this movie also plays itself a little too safe for me. And it feels like those moments, the cop out moments, feel like, well, this is a kids movie and kids are stupid. Let's treat them like they're stupid and let's end it this way so kids are happy because kids are stupid. So because of that, I'm gonna give this a C. It moves right down to just a regular C for me. I really wanted to give
First
it
of all,
higher because like I said,
really can't do-
when
you
it's
shouldn't
fun,
do that.
because
You
when it's
shouldn't-
fun,
you
and like
can't
the
do
ending
that.
credit scene was great too. Like when it's fun, this movie's fun, but it's because of those cliches. It just, like I said, it just makes it feel like they're treating the kids like they were dumb, like they were talking down to them. Hey kids, it's like it just felt like this movie was really, really talking down to kids for me, and I gave it a C.
I don't know if it was necessarily a sequel bait at the end. It might have just been meant to be a joke, just like how the original Back to the Future ending was supposed to be.
What about
It wasn't intended to build up to a sequel, which, in fact, as I speak, should we go to the marathon on Wednesday? They're showing all three Back to the Future movies, because... Alright, well...
I really
So
can't.
we should talk about... I think there are some new trailers, I think, that you guys
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
seen. Like, I don't think you guys...
Well, we have two.
I want to mention this. I liked the ending animation.
Yeah, I
Like
said
that whole
the ending credit
part,
scene
that
was
was
great.
cool.
Like, I said that, yeah. But, okay, so let's...
Okay,
we have
so
two
we
trailers.
got two trailers we haven't discussed yet. The first one is the final trailer to The Good Dinosaur.
That looks... I think that's a much better trailer. I did not like...
Yeah,
It's not a great... It's still not a great trailer, though. I have my little problems with it. But it's definitely better, a little better than the others, because, like, they don't really show a lot of the, I guess, the character moments, but I guess they're trying to hide most of the best parts. Because same thing, I felt the way about Inside Out. Like, I felt Inside Out was also hiding a lot of the best moments under its chest, and they did, and it was a really good movie.
Yeah. This is also the first trailer where we hear any of the dinosaurs talk, and we hear Sam Elliott doing the voice of a T-Rex.
Well, not true. We heard the the good dinosaur, the green little dinosaur talk a couple of times. He was like, hello, in one of the trailers, and he's like, that's all we really heard from him was hello.
Yeah. Although I gotta say, the designs of the dinosaurs in this movie look very children's book-like.
Yeah.
You noticed?
Yeah. Well, it's Pixar. They have a
That's
kind
true.
of drawing, but it looks.
Yeah, but
and
like Finding Nemo, they're very accurate.
kind
Like the designs were accurate, and there was a
but they
lot.
still had cartoon eyes,
And,
though.
even Cars, they gave really great detail to cartoon automobiles. I think maybe they could do the same for dinosaurs.
Like, for a studio that's supposed to be really good with, like, details.
Yeah. Alright, well...
Like, how is this supposed to work?
Well,
You're literally
we'll find out.
skipping millions of years.
Okay, and then there's
maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to feel like a children's story, so that's why they're designing it that way. I don't know.
Let's get
So,
to
No, I mean the fact that there's a...
John,
there's
we're down to the next trailer.
Okay, like Angry Birds.
Angry Birds.
Not sure what to think.
I like the trailer, but I don't love it. There's little jokes like the downward dog joke I thought was lame, and there's the pig joke where he's like, the button's not working. I thought that was kind of lame, but other than that, I like the ending joke. The he like hits it. I thought that was great. He's finally can't take enough. That was great, and so was the first joke where like he thinks the girl's talking to him, and the guy steps on him. I thought that was cute too. Other than that, like it looks, I'm curious. It had some funny moments. I'm like, okay, I'll see it and check it out, see what I think, because. It might be fun, but it might just be okay. You never know. And I did like the part where he kicked the bird, because that was the only part that actually kind of felt like the game, because the bird even kind of screamed like the birds in the game.
Yeah. Although we should have seen it multiply, because those little blue ones, they multiply.
Yeah.
You know, I did realize what those green pigs are. They're the offspring of Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy.
Ah!
Yeah, guys.
That's horrible!
But still, like...
Oh,
Are there some pink frogs in there too?
Oh my god. This is wrong.
Alright, well, let's get on to Bridge of Spies then.
Yeah.
Alright.
See,
Oh.